touch me. I'm not going nowhere with you.
Tony, you're making a fucking scene, alright? You gonna have boss man call the boys on you. What the fuck is wrong with you? God damn.
Fuck you.
Slow down. She don't kill the both of us. She catch your ass in here. Tighten up.
So tell me what's the name or change your attitude. You rather fight and argue now. Ain't that hard to figure out? You don't even kiss me like you.
Girl, he really tried me. After all the shit I've done for this nigga, the PlayStation 5, the dumbass games, the clothes, I made him. I made you, nigga. And this is how you want to repay me?
Yo, what is the word? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. And if you have been here before, I hope all is well with you. With day 4 straight days of Tubi continues with I Made You. We open with what looks to be like an immediate crash out session by our main character, Tony, as she is chasing someone down. After everything that she did for him, the clothes she bought for him, the PlayStation 5 she bought, how could he treat her like this? Just then, she is stopped by police and pulled over, and then we take us a little flashback. Next scene opens with Tony in bed with Shannon as Shannon's wife is coming home and Tony has to rush out. She grabs breakfast and then goes to meet her friend Jada. After she's grabbed breakfast and even told Jada about what happened between her and Shannon, Tony asks where Juice is, who's Jada's son. We find out that Juice spent the weekend with his father and that in fact Omari, Jada's baby father, and Jada are kind of having a little on again, off again type situation. She really just keeps him around because, you know, if you know, you know. I can't say it here on YouTube. Omari doesn't do. Tony says that she's tired of dealing with lame niggas and she wants to switch it up. Well, Jada tells her that she needs to stop trying to date wealthy and rich and go for a broke nigga. Go for somebody that she can build, somebody that she can sculpt into the perfect man for her.
And you got to get you one of these niggas who's broke as fuck, and you get him, you build him from the ground up, you give him all the accessories he needs, and then you...
After leaving Jada, Tony goes to the car wash, and that is where we meet Shawn and Jason. Jason does his best to get Tony's attention, woo her, and after getting her number, initially nothing comes of it. But after Tony goes to a meeting with the people whose house she's selling, she sees Shannon again, and after some disgusting gestures, she decides she should go ahead and give Jason a chance.
Why don't you call him up and tell him to come over and bring a friend? We could order some food and have a whole game night type deal. That way it's a safe space for everybody, and if y'all don't vibe, y'all just don't vibe.
Okay.
They do a little couples date type situation. Shawn and Jada and Jason and Tony go have themselves a nice little time, and Jason and Tony build a connection. You can start to see the little flowers sort of bloom here and there. You see the beginning buds of a relationship. In this, we learn more about Jason and the initial connection that him and Tony had, which was literature. It turns out that Jason is working on being a spoken word artist and is going to try down at the local comedy club. Well, he reads the first little poem, the little stanza that he has, and she tells him, you know, pick it up, my boy, get some confidence behind you, get a backbone. And she helps him build that confidence. Buys new clothes, helps him really put himself together. They even go to the gym together, where if you didn't know any better, you'd think that Jason was looking at another woman. By the time we get to the comedy club, he hits it off 10 out of 10 and knocks it right out of the park, does well. So well that actually he gets the attention of the bartender and even some people outside.
You know, I saw you up there tonight. You did your big one.
I appreciate it. Nah, for real, big dog. You did your thing. That's right, man.
You really work at a car wash, or was that just part of your act?
Nah, I really work at a car wash.
Which one? I might want to stop by, to get my car waxed.
Right there off the Merc.
Tony later goes back to Jada and tells her about everything that's been going on with Jason, and then Jada says, hey, you should probably lock him down and be sure that y'all understand what exactly this relationship is. Whole time, remember the bartender from earlier? That's where Jason's been. After going ghost and being more inconsistent with Tony, Jason finally reappears, only to spend one night with Tony and go ghost again while attending to the bartender. Jason pops back up with Tony just to, keep up appearances, but he doesn't stay for too long, and this makes Tony apprehensive. She goes to Jada, tells her that, okay, I'm pretty sure at this point that this nigga is cheating on me.
Telling you, Jason is messing around with somebody.
What makes you think he got a sneaky link?
I don't know. We barely talk. He doesn't answer my calls. It's like he's always busy.
I told you gotta find you a nigga with some money and quit fucking with these broke niggas.
Bitch, no you didn't. You were the one who told me to talk to somebody I normally wouldn't talk to.
I did, didn't I?
Jada tells Tony that all she has to do is follow him to see where he goes.
All you gotta do is follow him. If he cheating, eventually you gonna catch him.
While Shawn comes barreling down the steps, and right outside is Jada's on-again, off-again baby father situationship, Omari, waiting in the wings, just watching to see what happens next. After the feeling that she's been ghosted long enough, Tony goes to find Jason, can't find him at the car wash. Turns out he hasn't worked there for weeks, and in her drunken state decides to find him and follow him all the way back to his home, where Tiana is there already, where while they're arguing, Shawn is walking in. Tony makes the decision for everyone, pulls out a gun, confronts them all individually, only for Omari, the baby father, to then walk in, shoots both Shawn and Jason, leaves, and then after Tiana and Tony get to squabbling with one another, they're both led out of the home by police officers. We skip ahead 6 months later, and Jason ends us off with his retelling of everything that happened, but from his perspective in the form of spoken word.
My presence was your lesson. That searching outside of yourself for happiness is wackiness. Listen to your friend about dealing with men rather than turning that attention within. As backwards as it gets. Placing expectations on what you believe is your creation. Viewing their participation as confirmation that they're yours will only lead to cornier condensation. So,
all right. So it is currently 2:00 odd sum, and this video is supposed to go up in another hour. I'm hoping to have this up by 3, but I have to redo the conclusion because I had an epiphany of sorts. So I'm going to do the good, the bad, and then everything, like I guess a deep dive of the bad, so to speak. So the good, the nitpick, and then the issues that lie underneath. So on the positive note, the movie was okay. It's cool. It's not anything to write home about. It is not If I Can't. If I Can't is the new bar, and that bar is going to be very hard to match. But the movie does things well from a technical standpoint. I think the colors are well put together, right? Like, so it looks like somebody actually took time to grade them. There aren't certain shots that look way worse than others, or look flatter than others, or look brighter than others. Like, I think they did a good job to make everything look cohesive. While the story itself is nothing like overtly impressive, I definitely think they did well to wrap up every single plot point that they actually took time to make. So everything gets resolved pretty much except for one point, but we'll talk about that one point very, very, very soon. I think the movie does well to be a good technical work of art. No clunky dialogue, no pointless dialogue, no characters that are introduced that don't have some version of payoff. So, positive on those notions. My nitpick level, this might seem small to some, bigger to others. You may have noticed that I didn't say Tiana's name. Well, that's because we don't know Tiana's name until 55 minutes into the movie. And I don't know if this was intentional, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. And that leads me to the theory that I think that this movie was supposed to have a longer runtime. I think an hour and 14 minutes was not the original runtime. I think that either things could not be shot or things had to be removed. I'm not sure, but that's the theory that I'm working with, because between not knowing Tiana's name, certain shots just being like really quick and like just not jarring. Like I wasn't shocked or taken back that I saw them, but for them to just go through certain shots so quickly, and for certain things like Tony's descent to be so fast, for her to go from he don't call me on 2 separate occasions, or he inconsistent, all right, cool, we finna go buy this gun and confront him. It felt like that happened a little too quickly, but I think 5 to 6 minutes of that, while it may not seem like a lot, I think it would go very far into hammering home that point. The last reason why I think that there were not all the shots put together, or we may be missing some minutes, is because originally in the either second or third scene, they address that she's a photographer and does videography, that sort of thing. And then old boy says, you should come work and do work for my store. And we just never bring that up again. And based on how they've written the movie to this point, or now that I've seen the movie, based on how they wrote the movie as a whole, I don't think that they opened that point for no reason. I think at some point that point was going to find itself like being completed, like there was going to be a secondary interaction between the store owner or the business owner and Tony. However, there wasn't. On to the most important part here, which is the under the surface. Guys, listen, I think this movie does many things well from a technical standpoint, but thematically it falls short. I think that the B plot is a better plot than the original movie itself. And when I say B plot, I'm referring to Jada, Shawn, and Omari. Granted, I think Omari and Shawn's interactions are weird and kind of clunky, a little jarring, just because to go from creeping on the nigga to killing him immediately, odd. And there didn't feel like there was anything that Omari cared about in terms of like getting his family back or anything like that. So that just felt extremely random. If I take Jason's and Tony's plot themselves, I'm just not really sure what point they're trying to fully bring home. There may be multiple working plots, but if they are, they're conflicting to a certain point. I think that Tony was supposed to learn that manipulation isn't the way to go. You should find someone and build with them based on their character. But she in no way learns this process, because she just said, I want somebody I can control, and then that didn't pan out. But that's it. What happens to her is not a direct result of her interaction with Jason. It's quite literally only her comeuppance for the very beginning of the movie, which that's not the point of what I don't think that was the point they were trying to initially make. And then to title it I Made You makes me think even further that the thought process should be that you should learn to stand on your own as an individual, because they even, to me, seem to try to hammer that point home in Jason's spoken word at the end, where he talks about that having sex with her gave him confidence. It added something to him. But that's a weak mindset to have. You should not tie yourself to another individual in any facet where something as flimsy as sex is what builds your personal confidence throughout life, because then you'll only begin to see an individual as the object and not the person. But that doesn't even matter. That doesn't hold any weight in this, because the only negative consequence that you can say that she experienced was literally due to her just cheating at the very beginning, when the affair partner comes back and ends up killing her. But those two things have nothing to do with one another. I think the movie is all over the place thematically, on top of the fact that, if I didn't previously say it, let me make it clear, the B plot was better and to me would have made for a more interesting and cohesive movie that would have made it very, very, very clear that manipulation is not the answer, because Jada was playing both sides. She wanted to have her cake and to eat it too. And that didn't work out for her in any sense, because her final result was literally losing her baby father, seemingly, because they don't ever, confirm it, but losing her baby father, losing her lover, and being stuck with nothing. For me, this movie is going in the trash. I think it had a chance to be made with all the technical aspects that they got correct, but the theme falls so far flat that it is just not fair to put it there. If you made it this far in the video, you have to know that I appreciate you. Please do not forget to leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, man. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. Maybe you understand it and I don't. I'm open to any and all conversation and am willing to accept any and all conversation. As always, if you want to see the movie yourself, the movie will be linked in the description box below. You be safe. You be easy. I'll see you later. That's day 4, nigga. Peace.